Well, welcome, Lindsay Caldwell, to Big Up.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here talking with you today. My name is Lindsay. I've been a DJ for over 20 years. And I started having children, and being a mom is not necessarily conducive to playing out in the club until 4 o'clock in the morning. And I kind of learned that lesson the hard way. I was like in dirty bar bathrooms with like my full breast pump and bags of milk. And I was like, no. So I started shifting gears into doing more with curation, playlists, and stuff like that, and just kind of diving into the history of the music that I really love, the music that I grew up on. And I think I started learning more about myself, things that I didn't know about Black culture and Black history through the music that I was listening to and digging deeper into the stories of the artists that were making it and things that were happening out in the world at the time of certain things while they were happening. So I think that naturally led me to start looking for opportunities in that world more. More journalism things back to, I guess, my roots. My degree is in journalism. And so when Sonos had let me know that they were looking for, content, I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. The perfect marriage of all the things that I wanted to do. And this was in the beginning of COVID too. So it was just the perfect thing at the perfect opportunity. And so I get to be at home with my babies and really study Black music and the history of just a regular African American. To give you a little background about that statement, I have like your very basic American public school education. And usually those curriculum are based in a white perspective. And then I grew up in white spaces. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. And so my perspective on my own culture was really limited to a Western scope. And the focus of Black is Black is the diaspora, the Black diaspora. So for me, it's a very honest take looking at things from my Western perspective, wanting to learn more about, Black people in different corners of the world, particularly the continent, because I did my 23andMe, and I know that a lot of my background is Nigerian. And right now, Afropop is such a huge thing. Nigeria is like really making all this amazing music right now. So it's the journey that I take with the listener as we learn about things together, because by no means am I an authority on the Black diaspora. Like I don't know everything about what Black people in Germany are doing right now. So usually we take these discoveries together. For so long, everything that wasn't Western was clumped into this like world music genre. And Africa's like, no, baby, let me tell you about Afro beats. Let me tell you about high life. Let me tell you about Amapiano. Let me tell you, so
Yeah.
through the music, we're learning so much more about the culture and about Black people outside of, our world, outside of the
Yeah.
United States and the European perspective. So I love that, like going to see shows too, because usually you get those little anecdotal stories and you learn a little bit more about people outside of where you are. It's like the music is so transcendent in that way.
Is it safe to say that you are a lover of music?
Oh, yes, very safe. We can say that freely. I love music. It's like everything to me.
Right on. Well, thank you for joining us and being part of Big Up. And where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at DJ Lindsay, spelled with an EY. I play on Twitch. That's DJ Lindsay NYC. And my Mixcloud, you can where the show is archived, and I always re-up those, so you can follow me as well if you don't want to go through the Sonos archive. It's DJ Lindsay as well on a Mixcloud.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Lorraine and Rain.
How are you?
How are you? You are such a badass. I feel like it is my privilege to be seated with you in conversation right now. Welcome to the Big Up Show.
Oh my God, thank you. That actually means a lot. Because, yeah, sometimes I feel like a black sheep at times because I feel like this kind of music hasn't been like really lifted to the forefront as often as it was in the past. So it's like really cool to be like, okay, sick. You like what I'm doing? That's great.
Absolutely. Can you tell our watchers and listeners what it is that you do?
I host a fortnightly show on NTS called Yesterday's News, where I weave in all different kinds of punk, indie, hardcore sounds from like decades and decades and decades. So I've been doing that for about 5 years. And then most recently, my little baby came into my life, my Sonos radio baby, Famous Last Words, where I really wanted this show to be a place where people discover music. So that's like my biggest place right now, where it's like, I really want people to resonate with me as a human being on mic. So it's like really bringing my personality on the table, being vulnerable, but at the same time, like educating listeners, and allowing people to like understand that there's like really cool bands out there right now. There's like really cool things, sort of like in the vein of what John Peel did. The NTS show is called Yesterday's News. You can go on www.nts.live. Just type in Yesterday's News and you'll see my face. And then the Sonos radio show is Famous Last Words. If you have Sonos speakers, it's on the app under Sonos Sound System, among other shows that are incredible as well. We have an amazing program. But if you don't have Sonos speakers, it's also accessible on Mixcloud. We have a Mixcloud profile, so everyone and anyone can listen to it.
Woo! Thank you so much. Well, hello, DJ Bunny Ears. Welcome to Big Up.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. My name is Eric Johnson, also known as DJ Bunny Ears, often mostly known as DJ Bunny Ears these days, often even just shorted to Bunny or Bunny Ears. I'm the head of music at McCann ad agency in New York City. I've been at McCann for 7.5 years now, which has been an incredible run, a great place to be. And in my career, I've been doing this for 22 years. So I've been basically on the advertising side, you call it music producer, but in film and TV, it's music supervisor. It's the same role, just different vernacular, right? So I've been doing it for 22 years, which is crazy to think about. So we're talking 2+ decades. So like I started literally January 2000 at a place called Wieden and Kennedy in Portland, Oregon, mostly known for all of their Nike work, and just an incredible place. And I fell into it. I was a music director and a DJ at the college radio station in Portland at the time. And I was just like a punk art kid playing in bands, making music, DJing, doing my thing. And I got a random email from somebody at Wieden who wanted to pick my brain about something. We eventually went and had coffee, just sort of hit it off. And she, to this day, is still an amazing music supervisor herself. Her name is Beth Erdang. And she lives in Norway at the moment, but she still music supervises herself. And, you know, a big shout out to her, because she kind of gave me this moment in time opportunity that like set me on this new course. And, 22 years later, here I am. I've mostly almost entirely been in agencies, like as the music department, right? With an exception of in like 2013, I went to go to a shop called Search Party. Search Party is founded by Randall Poster, who does all the work for, among many things, like Wes Anderson and Martin Scorsese. And I went there to run the kind of the advertising part of it. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long, long time. So I've seen like, a crazy difference between 2000 and 2022, right? When I started, there was still the idea of like selling out. It was like a real concern of artists, and a legitimate concern of artists, and one that I was very sensitive to, especially then, but even now. But by and large, that attitude has changed, and I think it changed because the financial and business aspects of the recording industry and music in general had changed a lot, and people saw different ways to have different opportunities. So basically what I do in-house is I find pieces of music that we license for projects. I get to often like commission people, be it a music house or a composer or a famous artist or a small up-and-coming artist, to create something. So anything to do with music and sound comes through my department, and I have a small team, and our overall team sits within the production department. We're effectively like creative directors, creative producers of music, for lack of a better explanation.
Would it be safe to say that you're a lover of music?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to give you a little Zoom move here just for a quick second. This is just some stuff office at the moment. I don't know if it's not lagging. This is just some of my records. My vinyl collection is maybe around 9,000, 9,500. I thought I was getting close to 10,000, but I'm not quite there yet. But it's the thing I was and am and always will be crazy about, like since I was little. Like it was the thing I obsessed over, the thing that gave me a sense of like calm and solace and belonging and community and culture, like all the things tickled my senses. Like it is it for me. And there was definitely a moment I remember, I studied creative writing and poetry when I was in college, and there was a moment where I was like, shoot, I don't know how my crazy love of music is going to actualize itself in the world. Like I was a bartender working at a restaurant in Portland, just trying to like hustle and figure it out. And I was very fortunate to have that moment in time where, that email came in and set me on this new course, because I really was like, I don't know anything else to do, but I just want to love on music and share it with the world. So I was really lucky to be able to get to do this. So I love it, because I also still, my side hustle, from McCann, is doing this radio show for Sonos. I'm involved with a nonprofit called the Archive of Contemporary Music. Like music, I live and breathe music. I still DJ. I get, a lot of times when I do my DJ sets, I play vinyl. I play 45s of Jamaican music. Like that's my kind of go-to love, though my actual taste is like super broad, super deep, like knowledge. You know what I mean? But yeah, so music's my thing.
Awesome.
No doubt about it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing how it found you and what you do. I'm so happy for you that email came in and that you had the discernment at that time in your life to say, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity, because, wow, you're getting to live your dream, which is just wonderful.
The thing I've always done since too is I try to do the pay it back, pay it forward, whatever you want to call it. I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity. So like, I'm going to do that mentorship at South by, and I try to volunteer. And when people say, oh, I got a buddy, or my girlfriend does music, she doesn't know what to do with it, can I put her in touch with you? My answer is always yes, because like, I want to help people live their dream if I can, especially if it has to do with music. I especially love I love working with up and coming artists, like emerging talent. Like they need a shot. They need support.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like they're the future. Like they're often the people doing the really interesting stuff, because they're like the next gen experimenting, and it's that's also amazing, right?
Exactly.